One, how are you doing? This is the Dr. Will Show, and I am, of course, Dr. Will. Today, I am here with Sarah Thomas. We will be again talking about the flipped classroom, but this time from the perspective of a language teacher. So, welcome, Sarah. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm really, really glad to be here. How you doing today? You doing all right?
I am doing all right. Planning to go see Captain America today. Go to Outback and take the wife out a little bit. So I'm
No.
doing all right.
That sounds like a fun day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we met each other from Twitter, seeing you some nice stuff out there, especially the pictures of you doing some trainings and presenting. Fantastic. So I know you're well equipped to bring it today. Now, for those individuals who may be watching this on YouTube, may just pass through my blog and are like, well, who is this person? Who is Sarah Thomas?
Okay, well, let me just say that I am a technology integration teacher and English language arts teacher from Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm also the tech liaison at the school. I'm a lover of all things technology, especially Twitter, because I get to meet great people like Dr. Will over here, and like you said, I've been presenting on Flip Classroom in different areas, and it's just been great just meeting all different types of people and getting different perspectives from all over the country. So I'm just excited. Love doing it.
Awesome, awesome. Love my job as well. Now, so let's get to this. What sort of grabbed your attention about flipping the classroom, and what made you actually start doing it?
That's a fantastic question. A little bit about me. Before I came into the field of education, I was an undergrad at Howard University studying television production because my older brother, he does a lot of TV production. He has his own company. So my background is in video. And so I got into the field of teaching to try to use my technology experience to kind of bring a different way of teaching, I guess I would say, a different way to reach the kids back in 2004. So I heard about the term flipping around this time last year, I want to say. We had been doing video projects and things like that in my classroom, but I hadn't really thought about pre-recording the lesson and then giving it to my students to watch. So I decided to try it once I heard about it at a conference, and it just completely was a game changer for me. The way that my kids reacted to it, how they took on to it, it was just awesome, and I've just never looked back since then.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. I myself went to film school as well, and I have not uh, made anything professionally. But Google, if you're out there and want to let me do a documentary, holler at your boy. And then you just say you mentioned Howard. Okay, now I got this kind of been chapping my hide a bit today because Dr. Combs has been trending.
Yes, he has.
Okay, and I'm thinking he didn't graduate from the
Yeah.
school, and the last time I checked, he didn't write a dissertation.
True, true.
So the whole doctor thing, I'm trying to work on it right now. I'm trying to work on it because I wrote mine. All right, I
I hear
did
you
mine.
on that.
So I'm trying to work on it right now. Okay, okay.
I
So
hear you on that.
all right, let's get back to it. We got off a little bit. Now you've been doing your flipping. So when you started doing it, did you have a game plan in mind, or were you just going to kind of get to it and see if it would work?
Well, this is the thing. Last year, our principal, she is phenomenal, by the way, but she got us a class set of iPads. So we had, in my class anyway, we had a one-to-one situation, and I was kind of struggling seeing how are we going to use these iPads, what kind of apps can I put on there, and then when I heard about flipping, then to be very honest, we first started off kind of as a blended learning in the classroom where they would watch the video, they would pause me, they would rewind me, and it would help me, pull some kids to the side for remediation or, extensions in their work. So it was just that was the initial game plan, to use it kind of as blended instruction. However, at the beginning of this year, then I started doing some pre-planning. I was just like, okay, well, let me go ahead and set up this YouTube channel and actually, post this stuff on there and have them do it for homework and watch it with their parents. And that just kind of took it to a new level for me.
Wow, wow, that's fantastic, fantastic. So you mentioned your principal being such a great support. Did you go to your principal before you started flipping? And if you did, what was his or her response?
Well, I actually learned about it at a conference we went to together, and we may or may not have been in the same session. I can't remember, but I remember talking to her at lunch, and I was just like, well, this is something really cool that, we learned about, and I would like to start trying it. And she thought that it was great, and she actually brought in a guy to speak to the staff about some tech trends, maybe a month or so after that, and he talked about flipping. And just in my county, I'm seeing it starting to really catch on. We have this one great lady who works with Safari Montage, and she's setting up a whole flipping type network for the county. So I mean, it's just amazing, just how it's catching on.
Awesome, awesome. I'm digging it. I've actually talked to it was a STEM teacher at the high school about it because he's thinking about, hey, let's get the flip on. And I'm like, do this, because what I like about it, especially when you can go district wide or school wide, for example, is with the YouTube channel or whatever sort of repository platform you plan to use, students can benefit from not only your videos, but if there's another language arts teacher or someone else, they can all pull from those videos to learn from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about us, we're a French immersion school, so a lot of the teachers, we struggle to find resources in French to teach the students, the U.S. curriculum. Like now, I guess we can say the U.S. curriculum with the Common Core. So, so with the district-wide thing, we have another French immersion school on the north side of the county. And, the flips that we create, then we'll be able to share them easily back and forth. And also, the other immersion schools, in the United States should, we'll all be able to network. So it's just awesome.
It is. It is. I get excited about it. I really do, because I'm actually flipping professional development with our district as well. So you're doing it. Your principal is behind it. Everything is going well. How has the response been from your students and the parents?
The response from the students and parents has just been amazing. I got a letter back from one of the parents at the beginning of the year, and just a little bit of background. Her child at first was saying, "Oh, well, I'm not allowed to go on YouTube. I can't watch your flip videos." And I told the girl, "Well, why don't you ask your mom if she can watch it with you? And, let me know how that goes." So they sat down and watched the video together, and the mother sent me a nice note saying that this is just amazing. She loved how, how interactive it was and things of that nature. So it's been a really great response, all across the board. So flipping it's where it's at.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it seems that things are going extremely well for you, but what sort of challenges have you come across?
I would say the major challenge right now would probably be access is one thing, but there are definitely some ways to get around it. Because a lot of people think that flipping might broaden the achievement gap, between the haves and the have-nots, who has internet access at home, who does not. But there's been some ways that, that I found along the way to get around that. First one being that a lot of students who said they didn't have internet at home, they still had smartphones, so they were able to get on YouTube. So that's been one way that squashed a lot of those complaints. Another way is public libraries, and while that's not an option for all students, then there's many other ways that can alleviate those problems. Another helpful thing that we've done has been to burn the flips onto DVDs, and the students can watch it on the DVD player at home. And if none of those are viable options, then we've also done viewing parties where, the kids would come up at lunchtime and we just watch the flip, at lunchtime and discuss it, or as a center activity, or in a one-to-one situation with the iPads.
Wow. Do you hear this, people? See, this is next level flipping here, because I have I presented on flipping the classroom myself, and it has never dawned on me to have that viewing party. It's never dawned on me to say, okay, we're going to burn these DVDs and pass them out to kids so they can watch them at home. Or even saying, you know, wow, there's a public library, etc. So, I mean, I'm like, wow, right now, because this is, to me, it's a game changer when you, especially with the DVDs, because when you can do that ahead of time and know, okay, these are the lessons I'm doing. Okay, boop, take this if you don't have that at home, and then we can come back and be prepared. That is seriously next level, because I never thought about that. That is wow. That's really wow. So you got your iPad. Okay, what do you actually use? What device do you use, and what software do you use to actually make your flip videos?
It's kind of been an evolution for me. I started off because I don't believe in paying a lot of money to to do things that are for the kids. So most of the things I try to use or try to support are free. But sometimes I do merit. Sometimes some tools do merit the cost. But let me just give you the quick version of my evolution in flipping. So when I first started, I would use this iMac that I'm talking to you on right now. I would set this up, and I would put my county laptop on this desk that it's sitting on, and I would record. I'd record what was going on my screen on the laptop while I was recording my face on the desktop, and put it all together in Final Cut, and that took forever to do, but it was worth it. But after that, then I started getting different systems down. There's different tools that people can use. I started playing with stuff like Show Me on the iPad. There's Explain Everything. Lots of crazy things that other teachers just have been telling me about in my presentations that I've just been trying out for myself. And Telegami's great when I definitely do that. There's something called TouchCast, and those last two I talked about were free. But one app that I just tried recently that's been a total game changer for me was Camtasia, which is, I mean, it's one of the ones that you do have to pay for, but I think with Camtasia, what you pay for is what you get. It's well worth the price for me, because it took my complicated system that I was saying before with the two computers and just boiled it down to one. And right now, if I want to make a 5-minute video for the kids, it takes me 5 minutes. It doesn't take me 2 hours anymore. So lately I've been doing Camtasia.
Camtasia is awesome. Our director of tech bought us all licenses to put on our laptops for that. Being that I have a Mac, you have an iMac, you can also use QuickTime to do a quick screencast, which I sort of gravitate to that because it requires me to do no editing. But if I'm in an editing mood, there's Camtasia. Now there's another one that you may love. It is in the Chrome store. It's called Screencastify.
Screencastify. Okay.
And the wonderful thing about this one is it allows you, let's say you have a PowerPoint or whatever up, but you can choose an option where there's a box of you at the bottom of the screen where it's actually your visual picture, your face, and while you're talking and doing everything, it does it together, that one blending. And then you can, after you finish, automatically upload that thing to YouTube as well. So it is and it's free in the Chrome store, so it's a great app.
That is excellent. Free is my favorite word.
most definitely is free. Wow, the Camtasia, that is very awesome. They did a little see. I don't do that. Even though I went to film school, I like it simple. See, if someone told me I need to do this and that to combine that, I'm like, no, thank you. I like to get in, boom, 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 be out
Exactly.
with my time. But as a one-stop shop, the Camtasia is good because you can do all the coming in and out and arrows and all that stuff. So it allows you to make it swanky, to bring some swag into it in a one thing. Plus they have the green screen options and stuff you can do. So it's a fantastic program. All right, so let's get to your conference presentations on flipping. When you are going over your experiences and you're saying, okay, I'm going to bring this flipping to the world, to my audience, what do you want to get across, and what has been some of the responses from your audiences?
Well, every time I go there, then it's kind of like a two-way learning experience because I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me. And there's a wide range of people who attend. Sometimes it's people who've never heard of flipping. Sometimes it's people who've been flipping, their classroom as well, and they just want like different takes on it. So I mean, it's just been an amazing process. And every time I do the flipping presentation, I've done it probably 10 times so far. It's always different because people share out their resources, and I take notes. I'm just like, you mind if I write notes? And they're just like, that's cool. So I like test them out, take them home, practice them, see what's cool, and be sure to add that for next time, to everything. So so for all y'all who are at Edscape New Jersey in October, they see you has started the snowball effect. So all the way up to Common Ground, which was in Maryland last week, I want to say. Yeah, and there's quite a few more that I'm looking forward to that are coming up. So yeah, I'm so excited about that.
All right, all right. Now, do you think flipping can work for every subject, or do you think it lends itself for particular subject areas?
I think it can work for almost anything. I would actually go out on a limb and say, yeah, everything. There's two main ways to flip that I've come across. The first one would be, using other people's stuff that's been pre-recorded. And for those, then, the math, science, quantitative people, they luck out because there's so much out there, Khan Academy, all that stuff. But for the language arts people like myself, a lot of times we have to go to the second way, which is to create our own. So I believe that anything you want to teach somebody, you can easily just make a video of it and show it to somebody. So I would say for all subject areas, flipping should work out.
Awesome, awesome. So let me get to the storing of your videos. And some of my presentations, when I talk about flipping PD, I give them several options to where they can kind of create their repository. So you have yours on YouTube, and I use YouTube as well. What made you use YouTube versus Edmodo or another LMS, or possibly just saying, okay, here's a Google site and we're putting everything on a Google site, or versus a blog, or versus Vimeo or whatever? So what was YouTube just a natural sort of inclination for you to use, or was there a process in choosing YouTube?
That's a great question right there. And for the YouTube, I would say that I chose that one first because that's the one that I was most comfortable with in my personal life. Because I do a lot of other things. I do music and stuff like that. So I've been using YouTube for a very long time. However, the other resources that you named are fantastic. And Modo, I just became an Modo certified trainer, and in that process, then I learned the power of Modo and how for students, with these privacy concerns, we don't want the minors to be all out there all over the internet. We want to keep them secure. So Edmodo would be a fantastic resource for that, just to keep flips in group if the students are making their own flips. In addition, Google Sites, like you said, how you have the privacy lockdown, it's amazing. You can definitely do that, and we use that for our morning announcements because the students, we have them say, the announcements in French, and we make a video, and then we put it on a private site, and we lock it down in our Google Apps for Education tools. So that's great. And one more thing that I wanted to kind of put out there is Blend Space. It's not really a repository, but it works with a lot of different repositories such as YouTube and Google Drive and Dropbox and things of that nature. You could just kind of put your videos in there, and that leads to student accountability because the students log in and they watch the video, and it tells you how long the students spent on the video and which students watched the video. So that's one great tool in terms of flipping.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice. Breaking it down today. Breaking it down today. Now, in some of your videos, do you embed or include quizzes or quick assessment in your videos, or are there videos where you go over a specific lesson, and then the next day is when you sort of really get into the application of it?
That's a great question right there. Because speaking to the student accountability part, then a lot of times students were not watching the videos at first. That was one of the main hurdles to overcome. So when I first started out, I would, post up a link of a Google form that the students would have to go fill out, and that'd be part of their test grade, like surprise pop quiz. But um, since then, I've been using Blend Space mostly. There's a quiz option there that you can put in there, and that can add to the piece. There was one teacher in, I believe it was New Jersey. He was talking about how he would like say something random in his videos and ask the kids about it in class, and he'd know who saw it and who didn't, because the ones who watched it, then he'd be like, well, he'd be in the video like, which t-shirt should I get, the gray one or the black one? And in class he'd be like, well, which t-shirt do you think? And then kids who didn't watch would be like, huh? So there's lots of different ways to see, to monitor student accountability. But yeah, those are some ways I've come across.
Awesome, awesome. Now, for those teachers, admins who are watching this video, and they're excited, they're like, this sounds fantastic. I want to bring this to my school. I want to bring this to my classroom. What tips, what advice do you have for them for beginning the process?
Just got to jump in. You got to just close your eyes and jump in, because there's no such thing as a failed lesson. You can always tweak it, make modifications. Whatever doesn't work, just go back, learn from it, learn from whatever mistakes there are, and it'll just jump in and do it. That would be my main thing.
Awesome, awesome. Now, everyone, today has been fantastic. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I thank everyone for watching this episode with Sarah Thomas. This will be going up on my blog with links to all of her stuff where you can check it out, and then hit her up on Twitter, Google+, everything, YouTube. So again, Sarah, I want to thank you for being a guest, and we hope to have you on the next episode, or another episode.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This has been phenomenal. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. All righty, people.